Hi, this is Mark. Post yoga practice here in my yoga room, the yoga room at my gym. And I'm doing the reading from the Golden Present Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda. And this is for November 10th. And it says, "Go to them with all courage." This is a question and answer. Question: Before I believed, I created much bad karma in this life. Now I am frightened most of the time about how I must pay it back. How can I handle this fear? Swami Satchidananda says, "Your fear is unnecessary. We all make mistakes. Once you realize that you have made a mistake, repent. Learn the lessons from the mistakes that you make. Failures are stepping stones to future success. If you are going to brood over your past mistakes and be afraid that something terrible will happen, you would just waste your time. Nothing will happen. Nature's grace is such that it will pardon any mistake, because only by mistakes do you learn. If a child is going to think of all the falls it had while it was learning to walk, it will never walk. So treat the falls as stepping stones. If you have the opportunity to see the people you wronged, go to them with all courage and apologize. Say, I made a mistake. I was a fool. I was ignorant. I didn't know what I was doing. Please excuse me. That is the only way to repay your debts. If you cannot see these people, if they are not here anymore, at least mentally pray for them. Think of them. Send your apologies to them. That way you can pay them back and it won't affect you. Yeah, making amends. This topic has come up at least one other time I can distinctly remember in the Golden Present readings. And I'm grateful that part of my upbringing and present day life involves acknowledging that, noticing when I feel that I've made a mistake or wronged someone, or feel that I've just done something that didn't feel was in the right alignment with what I believe in, that there's a practice of atoning. And in my Jewish upbringing, that was Yom Kippur, and even though it was once a year, that holiday happens and it acknowledges that, it became something that still just became something I was conscious of, that we wanted to think about where did we feel that we needed to apologize to someone. And it didn't always happen, but it was something that at least was planting a seed about that. And then in the 12 steps, of recovery, the same thing happens in steps 8 and 9, where we make amends wherever possible. And it does say, except when to do so would injure that person or others. And there's even a part, what if, like Swami Satchidananda said here, what if the person's no longer here? How do you go to make that amends? You can make amends through prayer. Or another option is making a living amends. And this could be to someone that you may not feel is appropriate to go back to apologize. It may cause harm. So you make a living amends, that you vow to yourself to how you wish to live going forward, so that this mistake is never made again, or this wrongdoing never happens, as best you can do. But the key thing here that I really value and appreciate is, he recognizes that these are stepping stones. So rather than getting lost and upset and this feeling of failure and going into it, spiraling downward into depression, he speaks about seeing this as part of the journey of coming to know ourselves. And this is a great reference, if you told an infant that you're going to fall so many times, you're going to fall and then fall again, and then next year you're going to, you may fall again, and then later in life you might fall. It may just sound like, well, what's the use? But it's clearly part of this evolution of ours to want to do that. And so we've evolved to the point where that just makes sense. There's certain things that haven't completely evolved to make sense for us, and it may be some of the choices we make in the world with what we eat, what we buy, how we live, what we do for our work, how we earn money, how we share money. Some of these things just, there's not that natural impulse to want to do it towards expanding and making our humanity a better place. There's a lot of division, which is just another aspect of our experience, being on this planet. And while one of us may think it's someone's making a mistake or a wrongdoing, someone else may not see it that way. So it's, learning to just practice this for ourselves, not to decide for other people that they should be making amends and they should be apologizing and they've done this wrong. It just seems to be the way that it's going to have to be. That person needs to have their own awakening to see if that is an action that they want to take. Do they want to make an amends? Do they want to apologize? I know for myself, there's times when I'm not ready to. I feel like I want to. I know it's something that I'm going to need to do at some point, but even in the 12 steps, there's other work you do to lead up to steps 8 and 9, and that's all housekeeping. You're looking at your own moral inventory, and it really requires that kind of personal work to be able to do this cleanly, so you're not spewing out more hurt or possibly throwing out your wound rather than throwing out your peace, sharing your peace. And that's why I get inspired to get on my mat, to practice, to do something that helps to continually, daily remind me of what's important, and to do my best to keep my body clean. When the body can stay clean, the mind is clean. And I believe many of us are just a work in progress, but every little bit makes a difference. Rather than saying, well, I didn't do all of it, I didn't do it 100%, that's the ego jumping in, trying to make a decision about, the right and wrong world, because that's really how it knows best how to function. But the highest self isn't looking at the right and wrong. It's simply looking at progress. It's looking at, are you moving towards a more peaceful way? And those little steps, they're doing it. Okay, so that's my share for today. Thank you for watching these, and there's been a little lapse. I know I'm going to catch up. It's just been different challenges, but makes me stronger, I believe. And I'm not going to get down on myself. I'm just going to say, stuff happens. All right, thank you.